My name is Will Coleman. I'm here with Jonathan Booker and Garrett Howe. Over the last few months, we've rolled out a construction loan product, which we're very excited about. We've done a handful of them and they've gone really well. Jonathan, if you could tell us just what does our construction loan look like from a leverage and a rate and term perspective?
Yeah. So just the numbers, we fund up to 90% of cost, as long as that number is not greater than 70% of ARV. The annual rate on it goes back and forth a little bit depending on borrower experience. So for someone who's new to construction, it would be a 12% rate. But for someone who has some builds under their belt, it would be 11.25% rate. And that's the annual rate for a 12-month loan. And then the origination fee on that is 2 points. So the borrower would pay a 2-point origination fee on the total loan. They would pay 11.25% interest, and interest would be paid just on drawn funds. So non-Dutch is the proper term for that. As long as the appraisal comes in at the right number and we're not pushing 70% of ARV for that loan amount, we can fund 90% of cost. And the way that essentially works is that when we originate the loan, the borrower brings that 10% of the total project cost and they bring it into the loan up front, and then everything else is drawn back to them.
Could you talk a little bit about why a borrower would choose to go work with us on a construction loan as opposed to other lenders?
I think the strongest point about us, and the reason that we have borrowers who come and use us on everything, is because we're very easy to work with. That tends to be our strong suit with all of our loans. Is it's a much easier process. It's not a process where you get caught up in a ton of red tape on. Our construction lending is done in partnership with a family office who doesn't originate any loans. They just fund in partnership with us. And they're also based out of Nashville as well. So we really have two local parties that are working on this loan together. And both ourselves and the family office looks at things pretty holistically. So again, it's just another kind of advantage where we're not looking at something very strictly based on only certain numbers. We get to kind of take the whole thing into account. We don't need an exact amount of liquidity available. We get to take the whole borrower and their experience into account when we decide whether it would be a good loan or not.
Thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in applying for a construction loan, if you're in Nashville or Middle Tennessee, reach out to Jonathan. If you're in East Tennessee, hit up Garrett here. His contact info is also on the screen.